We are joined now by one of the most popular actresses and personalities in the history of television. You know her from her classic series, That Girl, which broke new ground for women in television. She's a 4-time Emmy Award winner, including one for one of the best children's programs of all time, Free to Be You and Me. Her latest book, The Right Words at the Right Time, is now available in paperback, and her work, of course, with St. Jude's Children's Hospital is a centerpiece in her life, continuing the work of her father, Danny Thomas. It is a pleasure to welcome Marlo Thomas to the Suncoast Magazine today. And hi, Marlo, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you? It's good to talk to you.
I'm glad you're feeling better. I know we're both getting over the flu.
Right.
But I'm glad we could hook up with you today. And I know you just concluded the Thanksgiving holiday season campaign for the hospital. How did that go for you?
Oh, it was great. We really had a tremendous amount of awareness, and I think they did a Zogby poll before it and after, and we raised awareness by something like 30%. That's
great. I know they had a lot of the commercials would have tie-ins for the product, which was great. A lot of money went to your organization.
Right, yeah, we sold a lot of books, the Thanksgiving All Year Long book and the CD, and we sold a T-shirt, and a Hope T-shirt that Jennifer Aniston modeled, and it was great. We got a lot of reaction to it. You know, we did 6 shows on the Today Show where people got to hear stories of these kids and the doctors and the scientists who care for them, different diseases and different families every day.
Yeah, that's great.
It really went a long way to, one of my missions as the outreach director for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is to be sure that parents know that we're there and that we are this beacon of hope, that we're nonprofit. We do everything for free. Come to us. If you get a death sentence, which a lot of parents do, I cannot tell you how many mothers and fathers have come up to me at St. Jude and told me that at another hospital somewhere else in the country, they've been told that they should take their child home and take her picture because she's not going to live for more than a few months.
Yeah,
and then they come to St. Jude and we put them in a research program. And that, you see, was so great about being a research and a treatment center, is because we have the capacity to. We aren't dependent on what we already know, and we're not dependent on what is sort of the medical equivalent everywhere else of what we know. We're able to start from scratch and do a research program, especially for this child, and that's how we, create these research programs. And you have no idea, what that means. Well, I'm sure you do, to a parent who comes there being told that there's no cure for this disease or they can't do any more for their child with this disease. And what we say is, come on, let us try. That's what we do. In fact, when my father opened the hospital in 1962, the most common form of cancer in kids is leukemia, and the most common form of leukemia is something called acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And the cure rate for this most common cancer was 4% in 1962. And through the years, through the work of St. Jude's Research Hospital, we've gotten that up to an 86% cure rate.
Ah, that's great. I was going to say, the treatment's much better now than when the hospital began.
Yeah. Well, just like 4 or 5 years ago, it was at 80%. 80% of the kids, we could cure them. That meant 20% we were still losing. And in the last 4 to 5 years, we've knocked off another 6%, so now only 14% are losing. So as we continue with our research, we keep trying to figure out, why was this 20% not responding to our protocols? Why was this 20% not responding to any of the drugs, the chemo, the radiation, any of that? Why? And so we worked on that until we got that 20% that were dying down to a 14%. I mean, it is certainly possible in our lifetime. God willing, we're going to get rid of that 14%.
That's great.
If we've gone from 4% from 1962 to 86% in 2005, then that 14% is a much shorter distance. And that's what's exciting about being involved in a research and treatment center.
Why don't you give out the website for the folks down here?
It's stjude.org, and I'd love you to come into our website and learn more about St. Jude, meet some of the patients and hear the stories of the patients and the children. And also, you can buy the book. All the money goes to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, the book, the CD, and all the people involved, Tiger Woods, Billy Crystal, Sarah Jessica Parker, Jimmy Buffett, Faith Hill and Robin Williams and Sheryl Crow and Hilary Duff, all of these people gave their royalties so that the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital could benefit from it.
That's great. We're talking with Marlo Thomas, and we just have a couple of minutes left. And I just got to ask you a couple other things. We had a comedy show last week down here, Marlo, at our theater with some of the great storytellers like Shelley Berman, Bill Dana, and I know your dad, of course, one of the great storytellers of all time. What a treat it is to hear that kind of comedy again. It was a lot of fun.
It really is.
And, of course, I guess that's kind of, unfortunately, a dying art with comedians nowadays, the storytelling, isn't it?
It really is, and my dad did it so beautifully.
Yeah, wonderful.
He was a great storyteller. And, we do a lot of galas and events around the country, and Ray Romano and Robin Williams and Billy Crystal and all these great comedians, Cosby, have all performed for the benefit of St. Jude.
That's great. I know That Girl is available on DVD now, because I got one not too long ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is great. Are there more volumes coming out? I just got the first one.
There's 9 altogether. Well, there's 9 CDs or DVDs.
Great, yeah. Of course, that was one of the groundbreaking television shows before the Mary Tyler Moore Show, really, which I grew up watching, I have to tell you, big fan. So I enjoyed that. I know you mentioned Jennifer Aniston before you played her mom on Friends, and now you're kind of a recurring role on Law & Order, right, SVU?
I did 5 of them. I'm not doing any more. I loved it, though. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know your book, just give a quick plug for your book.
It's called Thanks and Giving all year long. It's a book and a CD. You can buy it on stjude.org. You can get it at any bookstore. You can buy it at amazon.com. All the money goes to St. Jude. If you go on to stjude.org, you can even see some little excerpts from it or hear some of the music. They have a little excerpt for the music. It's really wonderful. It's very much in the same spirit of Free to Be You and Me. It's great for kids, and all the money goes to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Great, wonderful organization. Marlo, it's just a treat to me to have a chance to talk to you, and we'll hopefully do it again sometime. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.